Reasons why Baby Ruth is still awesome. There's an announcement in baseball. Be careful of the heavy batter. They by no means need to run. That announcement might also additionally have begun with Babe Ruth. George Herman, Babe Ruth, is one of the maximum well-known baseball gamers of all time and one of the maximum well-known athletes with inside the world. His play improved baseball into its current incarnation. Number 10. He played through serious health problems. Babe Ruth became well known for his urge for food for the carousel, with many nights spent gambling, drinking, and womanizing. Many testimonies say he confirmed up on the ballpark, sleep disadvantaged and hungover. Handiest to hit a couple of domestic runs. Things subsequently stuck up with him in 1925, while he began to experience cramped and feverish, but endured gambling. He collapsed and hit his head for the duration of an education ride, requiring hospitalization. This sparked a media firestorm, with newspapers around the sector even incorrectly affirming that he had died. Ruth turned into a throat with most cancers. However, docs should do little. Early the subsequent year, the remedy ended. The incident has become recognized as the bellyache curd round the world. Ruth recovered, despite the fact that he turned susceptible to the relaxation of the season. His specific infection stays unknown, however, has been rumored to be whatever from an intestinal abscess to syphilis. Number 9. His tour of Japan was insane. Baseball gamers had visited Japan as early as 1907, and 2014 marks the 36th time a group of important league gamers has toured Japan for exhibition video games. But the inclusion of Ruth in 1934 made this occasion one of a kind from each different excursion. Ruth, the jovial demigod of baseball, collectively added the 2 international locations and forestalled war talks, earlier than turning into an image in Japan of American decadence. U.S.-Japan family members had been shaky in 1934. The U.S. had halted Japanese immigration into the country, and Japan had recently invaded China for doubtful reasons. It turned into that environment that Ruth and numerous different baseball gamers launched into a goodwill excursion of the country, gambling exhibition video games towards Japanese teams. Ruth, of course, turned into the primary attraction, and hundreds flocked to peer and play. But loads turned into occurring each on the sphere and at the back of the scenes. Number 8. The legends are partially true. 2 legends about Babe Ruth are especially nicely recognized. One is the called shot, and the opposite is the tale of Johnny Sylvester. According to the tale of the called shot, for the duration of a World Series game, Ruth turned into being taunted through the opposing group, so he pointed into the outfield stands proper earlier than smacking a domestic run into the very spot wherein he had pointed. The legend of Johnny Sylvester additionally has a few kernels of fact surrounded through embellishment. Johnny turned into a younger boy, who turned into gravely ill, probable dying, even though his specific infection isn't pretty clear. Johnny had one wish, to accept a baseball autograph through Ruth. Number 7. He hit far more home runs than we think. Ruth's signature pass turned into the house run. Before he got here, domestic runs had been highly uncommon in baseball, but Ruth's career, which stretched for 22 seasons between 1914 and 1935, turned into the start of the home run era. His ability, mixed together along with his reputation as a cultural determinant, supposed that human beings requested what his mystery turned into. Even though he turned into the highest paid athlete with inside the world, Babe Ruth nonetheless barnstormed, and of course, he hit lots of domestic runs. So it's been expected that in case you take the 714 domestic runs he hit for the duration of his career, upload his postseason domestic runs, after which upload all of the house runs he hit at the same time as barnstorming. He hit at least 1,031 domestic runs. Number 6. He remains a mystery. Even though Babe Ruth is one of the most well-known athletes of the 20th century, loads about him stay unknown. His early life, especially, is sort of a complete blur. We recognize handiest touch of his father. The latter turned into a tavern owner, and nearly not anything approximately his mother, other than that she turned into in frail fitness and died at age 39. We also don't recognize an awful lot about his siblings. He had 7 brothers and sisters, the handy is certainly considered one among those who survived into adulthood. Number 5. He challenged the status quo. To the baseball establishment, Ruth's giant reputation represented opportunity. However, his rebelliousness and capability to overturn the popularity quo supplied a threat. Racism turned into deeply entrenched in baseball inside the early part of the century. African American gamers had been banned from the major leagues, and baseball's largest star, Ty Cobb, turned into an outspoken racist. Babe Ruth, however, had a mindset ordinary to that of lots of his teammates. While he by no means spoke out at once towards racism, he performed exhibition video games towards African Americans, attended fundraisers to gain black churches, or even invited Bill Bojangles Robinson, the most well-known black entertainer of his day, into the Yankees clubhouse. Baseball's commissioner, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, became a staunch segregationist who attempted to damn Babe Ruth from gambling exhibition video games towards Negro League teams. He went thus far as to droop him from gambling for the Yankees while Ruth defied the ban. Number 4. He was ahead of his time. Part of Babe Ruth's impact may be attributed to the reality that his maximum hit years had been for the duration of the Roaring Twenties. Ruth invented the current movie star athletes concept, turning into a celebrity each on and stale the sphere. He employed a person named Christy Walsh to barter contracts for him and controlled his finances, the primary sports activities agent. In addition to settlement negotiations, Walsh additionally served as Ruth's ghostwriter and controlled his public family members. Given Babe's prominence each on and stale the sphere, he has become an icon for America's greatness and ardor for living. The message of the mythical Babe Ruth was conveyed at some stage in the country and the sector. Ruth turned into additionally the primary athlete to appoint a non-public trainer, who helped him get better following his hospitalization in 1925. Most athletes of the time used their day without work to tasks in preference to education. However, Ruth didn't want tasks to aid himself inside the off-season. Number 3. He was charitable. The Babe helped save baseball from the unpleasant Black Sox scandal and gave wishes to tens of thousands and thousands for the duration of the Great Depression. He impacted the sport in a manner by no means visible earlier than or on account of that. He is still the benchmark through which all different gamers are measured. Babe by no means forgot his roots, and at some stage in his life, he gave lower back through charitable contributions, especially to orphanages. Among the groups he supported turned into the American Legion Crippled Children's Hospital in St. Petersburg, Florida. He later left an awful lot of his property to the Babe Ruth Foundation, committed to assisting orphans and disabled children. Ruth turned into additionally energetic inside the Red Cross, assisting injured carrier participants for the duration of World War II. Number 2. He died undergoing an experimental medical treatment. Babe Ruth died at age 53, simply months after making his well-known very last public look at Yankee Stadium. Ruth turned out to be stricken by throat-most cancers, no wonder given his penchant for smoking and drinking. More current studies indicate that Babe Ruth would possibly genuinely have suffered no longer from throat-most cancers. However, from a mile rarer, most cancers are referred to as nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma is an extraordinary tumor of the top and neck, which originates inside the nasopharynx. The nasopharynx is positioned on the very lower back of the nostril close to the eustachian tubes. Number 1. He's still the best. As a full-time outfielder with the Yankees, Ruth Speedy emerged as the finest hitter to have ever performed the sport. Nicknamed through sports writers the Sultan of SWAT, in his first season with the Yankees in 1920, he shattered his very own single season record by hitting 54 domestic runs, 25 extra than he had hit in 1919. Although his maximum well-known data have been lengthy on account that has been broken, baseball statisticians don't forget Babe Ruth to be the high-quality participant inside the records of the sport. In reality, current statistical analysis, referred to as sabermetrics, ranks Ruth as a long way and far from the high quality. Sabermetrics makes use of superior statistics, past batting average, domestic runs, and RBI, to create an extra detailed and goal view of baseball. He even does quite nicely as a pitcher. rating 100 all-time in fielding independent pitching in the pinnacle. Not horrific for a man who made his baseball debut over 100 years ago. That's all with the video. Let's check it out. To get more updates, subscribe, like, and turn on notifications.